Hello, Serge here from the backyard driving range. We have the clipboard and a really good question from Richard Griffith. Richard says, I have been devoted to the Serge swing for almost 3 years now, and I strive to perfect it every time I am out. I am in total agreement with the physical and mechanical purity of the swing, but I do stick on one nagging question. Why is it that when I have a clean hit and take a regular divot, that my ball seems to fly further and give me the boost I need? It just seems to me that a more descending blow will impart more spin and therefore the added distance. Am I wrong here? It's the only area of our swing I am unable to resolve. Will you help me? Respectfully, Richard Griffith. Okay, Richard, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to make a couple assumptions here. You say that why is it that when I have a clean hit and take a regular divot, that my ball seems to fly further and give me the boost I need? So when you're saying regular divot, and since you're a 3-year Surgeite and you agree with everything that I'm teaching, I'm assuming, or I'm going to go on the assumption, and I'm going to make the call based on the fact that you're taking a nice clean nipping divot. You're tearing the grass out of the ground. So we're nipping it, we're pinching it, just tearing the grass out. We're taking that very shallow divot rather than hitting down, because we don't hit down on the ball. So that's the first thing I'm going to take into mind on this question. And then you say, it just seems to me that a more descending blow will impart more spin and therefore the added distance. Am I wrong here? Okay, so I have to ask a question right now, and I'm going to answer it, and therefore it's going to be the way I'm going to address this, what's going on here. You say that when you hit the regular divot, your ball seems to fly further and gives you the boost you need. So in the question you're asking about more descending blow will impart more spin and therefore the distance, I'm a little bit at a quandary as to know, are you thinking that will hit the ball farther? Or you think it should hit the ball farther, but when you do, it doesn't? Either way, I'm going to answer the question in this regard. I think what you're talking about is we have to understand the definition of distance, because I think like everything in the Serge swing, and not everything, but the majority of what we talk about in setup and the principles of the Serge swing, all us Surgeites are over here on this side of the street, and basically the rest of the world is over here on this side of the street. All right? And I think that the key is the question about impact is one of these big questions. Now, when I hit a golf ball, and if we slow my swing down, I come to impact. At impact, after I ring the bell and bump, and you see the ball in my body, the head goes back slightly. But if we started with a little box in there, it'd just basically tilt a little bit back towards the box. And as you know, I've said 1,000 times, if you want to hit a good shot, relatively solid and relatively straight to a little draw, the head can never ever move forward in the swing until after impact. And anybody who's taking a big turn, the head's always moving forward, because you have to pull the club back to the aiming line to get the on, square and solid impact to hit the ball straight, relatively straight. So the key is if you're in the sacred barrel ground and you have to come out of it, any movement coming out of it, the body is turning to the left side as the rotational swing tells you to start turning, and that means you're going forward. But when we get up here and we've made that slight little turn of the shoulders and the hips and we bump, the head goes backwards just a little bit. Like I'm standing here and I'm looking at my shadow, and my head has got the slightest little twitch to the backwards. DJ does it more pronounced than I do, and it goes more back and forward, but basically his head will stay in a pretty good box that you put it up there. Why is it changing? Because when I bump, the secondary spine angle tilt happens. The spine goes backwards. That creates more bow, like a bow and arrow. All right? And so when we do that, that's going back is what allows us to stay here. Our fulcrum is still the main point of our swing, which is our point upon which we swing the club when the forward shoulder comes up to the neck. And then on the forward swing, the back shoulder comes up to the neck. We're swinging around our neck. So that's why it has to stay relatively stable for this fulcrum to swing the club back to where it was, to where the ball is at impact. If that's moving all over the place, it's going to be difficult to do that. And so what's the difference? So what we see here, or what we see here with my arms, they come back and they get relatively straight. And sure, my hands get to the ball first, but at this point, the hands are rotating immediately into impact extraordinarily fast, where the club catches up in a snap of the finger, and we have the appearance that the left arm and shaft is in line and both arms are exactly dead straight. But what you're talking or asking a question about is a theory that's out there about you have to have a lot of forward shaft lean. You read a lot and hear that they say on the way down you have to arch your wrist a little bit and you have to hold that angle, because when you arch your wrist and you come in this way, it gives a big cup in your back wrist, which is giving you the lag. Well, I have all the lag in the world you want, but when my arms straighten out, both arms get exactly dead straight and they're almost dead flat, both wrists. But they want you to come through and hold the lag going through. So if the front wrist is bowing what I call the lag, drag, hold, block, because why? That when they've turned really hard, if they don't do that and they turn and they let release really happen the way it's supposed to happen, the way we Surgites do it, they'll be hitting the ball a mile to the left. So they have to have that lag, drag, hold, block coming in, and so they find some nice turns for it. Look at that lag. We got the lag all the way past impact. Well, if I lag all the way past impact, all right, my net goes to right about here on the front part. If I lag all the way to impact, and I'm in that position, I've turned out of the way, there's a good chance I'm going to completely miss my net. So that's why they have to turn really hard, and they lag, and they're pulling inside also to try to pull the club back to the aiming line, so that they can hit a ball down the aiming line. And in holding on, they're going to cut across it and very likely have somewhat looks like a cut shot. So if you want a lot of really accelerated hands and holding the angle and getting a lot of forward shaft lean, what else is the thing you're doing? Look what's happening to the shaft. As the shaft goes forward, the club gets de-lofted. And so if you're de-lofting it, you're going to hit the ball really low. Yeah, if you've got enough iron, like a short iron, where the head is big enough up in here, as compared to say if I get a 9 iron here, look at how much bigger the head is at the top over here. So I can get on top of a ball and trap it more, get more spin, but what I'm going to very likely be getting is backspin, because when you pinch it into the ground, like pinching a ball on a pool table, the ball gets backspin. If you pinch it off the ground, it's going to go up and kite on you. So we just want smooth, clean hits. We want to get the impact just about like this. If you're like that, you're going to be in trouble. Heck, I don't even get that much forward lean if I'm trying to hit a knockdown. Because if I'm just trying to hit a knockdown, I'm just going to come in here and it's going to be just slightly minimally ahead. Because too much forward shaft lean, like they're talking about, is just going to pinch the ball. In many cases, give you forward and give you backspin in the ball. If you're into the wind, it's going to kite up too much. All right. So we're getting back to, hopefully, is what we want is both arms are extended, both wrists are relatively straight. We're not in this contorted, tight wristed position and cocked like this, which is de-loft to the club. Not good. And so the reason why you're hitting the ball farther when you take the good pinching hit is because you've released both arms completely and the club is going so much faster, and just swinging up to the tee finish is giving it a good launch angle. So that's the difference. We get the arms released straight in front of the body, just like swing your arms here and come right there and clap them. That's the impact position. Boom. All right? Palms perpendicular to the ground. So at impact, the club face is square to the ground, the palms are perpendicular to the ground, and the club face is perpendicular to the aiming line. 3 perpendicular relationships. Return back to square, just like here, where you clap both ways. All right? Hopefully that answers your question, and how we Surgites are at impact when we strike the ball. Hit it solid straight, on, and on, which helps us hit it more solid and straight and farther. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.